Hey guys and girls, it is a cold and rainy Sunday afternoon here in Oklahoma. I'm in the boat building because it's raining. You can probably hear it a little bit on the roof out there hitting the roof, but I'm here in the boat building because it's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside. And Chris is taking a nap right now. We've had a good week here at the ranch. You know, I actually went up to in Evansville, Indiana, Expressway Ram, and picked up my new Ram truck. I got a red one this time. I'll be showing you that maybe sometime this week. We might kind of run through that truck a little bit. One of the things we haven't done in a little while is kind of go through a Ram truck and look at it. And I had some of my friends over here yesterday afternoon, and they saw the truck and said, "Wow, you got your new truck." And they were asking a lot of questions, and so we looked through that thing. So it might be kind of nice to show you. I'm obviously not a truck expert, but I've been driving Ram trucks for a lot of years right now, quite a few years. Been getting them all up there at Expressway in Evansville, Indiana, and Mount Vernon, Indiana. You know, they handle Chevrolet and Ford up there also, as well as Jeep. They got some great deals going on Jeeps right now, but we might take a look at that Ram truck. I'm standing in front of, by the way, I love this boat. I'm standing in front of a bass tractor, which is a replica of the original bass tractor that Johnny Morse started with, well over 40 years ago. I think this boat right here, I can't remember when we built this boat right here, when Johnny built this boat, but I've got one, Bill Dance's got one, Roland Martin's got one. When Roland comes here, this is his favorite boat to fish out of. He loves to go out there by himself. Now, when him and I fish together, we fish out of our Tracker 195 or my Ranger 521R, but when he's by himself, he takes this boat out. And some of y'all are saying, yeah, you won't let him take your Ranger or your big Tracker out. Well, I actually would. It'd be tough, but I would let him do that. But he takes this boat out because he just loves to get out there by himself and float around and catch fish and do things for his YouTube channel. He's got a great YouTube channel. And if you're not on that, subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's a good one. By the way, at the end of this, I'm going to talk about worry. I've been seeing a lot of these ads on television selling sleep medicine. And the main reason people don't sleep is because they're worried about something. So I'm going to tell you how to get rid of those worries. And don't think about worries. You don't need all that sleep medicine. But quit worrying. That's the real deal. But I'm going to talk about that at the end of this chat. But anyway, just kind of look at this boat right here. And this boat is, I think it's 6 or 7 years old now. I think it might have been 2018, 16, something like that when they built the boat. But look at that boat. It's just beautiful. We fished out this boat a lot. It's got a Mercury motor back there on it, a Mercury 4-stroke motor. That motor is a 40 horse. The original one had a 25 horsepower on it, but that one's 40 right there. But look at that beautiful console seats, just absolutely an incredible boat. And that boat sold for under $10,000. That's right, under $10,000. I remember telling Johnny, because I think the payments, you could get it on payments, and it's like $99 a month. I told Johnny, I said, you know, kids can make $10 an hour. They make $15 an hour now. Back then, it was really about $10 an hour. But even if you made $8 an hour, you know, you could work 10 or 12 hours a month and pay for your boat. And Johnny said, boy, wouldn't that be great? It'd be teaching kids how to, a work ethic, a good work ethic, and also they'd be learning how to fish at the same time. And honestly, aside from just taking your kids to church and teaching them about Jesus, teaching them about God, teaching them how to live their lives correctly, teach them how to work and teach them how to fish. That's 3 of the most important things you can ever learn in life. If you learn that, I think your life's going to be pretty good. You're probably not going to worry too much. If you learn a little bit and get a relationship with God, and you learn how to work hard and learn how to fish, probably not going to have too much to worry about in life. But anyway, also I wanted to kind of tell you a couple of things about personal appearances. We are doing quite a few personal appearances this year. Hope to see some of y'all all around the nation. I think we're opening up 7 or 8 Bass Pro Shop stores throughout the year. One of them's coming up here pretty doggone quickly in Westchester, Ohio. That Westchester, Ohio is in the Cincinnati area, and that'll be Wednesday night, February 6th. I think we open that store about 6 o'clock Cincinnati time. So Wednesday night, February 6th. Now, Tuesday, all day Tuesday, and then Wednesday morning for a little while, I'll be in Oklahoma City at the Oklahoma Aggregate Association. So if any of y'all planning on being at the Oklahoma Aggregate Association event in Oklahoma City, be sure and come by and see me. I'll be there with my buddy Jerry Boston with Shell Rotella. And we'll be there pretty much all day on Tuesday. I'll be there for the entire event on Tuesday. I'll be there only for a little while on Wednesday morning because we'll be going on down to Westchester, Pennsylvania. I've got a plane out of Oklahoma City to fly to Westchester. And let's hopefully maybe Johnny Morse will come by and pick me up and take me up there with him. I don't know if that'll happen or not. But anyway, so we'll have that event there. We're really looking forward to that event. The event that we had scheduled for next on my schedule anyway, for next Friday night was at Eagles Landing Church in Atlanta, Georgia. That was for Friday night, February 16th. That event has been canceled. I don't know exactly what all happened. I think they had some scheduling problems and some of the other things. That's a great church there in Atlanta, and they've got a lot of events, a lot of stuff going on, and I don't know exactly what happened on that, but for some reason that event's not going to happen. So I will not be in Atlanta next Friday night, February 16th. We'll be down in Baton Rouge for the big Baton Rouge Sportsman Show there. We'll be up at the Palmetto Show in South Carolina. I'll be at the big show in Cincinnati, I think on Friday and Saturday, March 1 and 2. We'll be at that Palmetto Show, March 3. So we have quite a bit coming up. We'll talk about some of those events as we get just a little bit closer to them. But we will be at the Oklahoma Aggregate Show. We will be at the big Bass Pro Shop grand opening. It's going to be a great grand opening. We call those evening for conservation because a goodly percentage of the money that is spent that night there at that Bass Pro Shop will go to conservation and go for conservation in that Ohio area right there, not just conservation all around the country, but in that local area where that new store will be open. So that'll be great. I'll be there at that opening. I believe Roland Martin will be there. Of course, and Johnny Morris, my buddy Johnny Morris will be there for sure. But anyway, that's going to be a really good situation. We've had a good week this week, and Chris is here at the ranch with me all the time. She did get to stay with Sherry while I drove up to Indiana and got my new red Ram truck. But it's been a good week here. We got back. We've been having a lot of deer coming around in the yard, enjoying those, and bucks and does and babies, the whole 9 yards. And so we've been having a good time doing that. Let's talk just a little bit. About this worry situation. Oh, before I do, let me remind you, everybody. Make sure you get out there on Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing. We're starting to do really a lot of fishing tips on there now. Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing is a separate channel from our Twin Eagle Ranch channel, which is our original channel on YouTube. It's also separate from the Catch a Better Life channel. So if you're not subscribed to that Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing, you're missing a lot of fishing tips. We're throwing them up there several every week, and we'll have some of the stuff of our fishing. I think Roland's going to be down here toward the end of March, right after the Bassmaster Classic. We'll be having some more stuff with Roland. Y'all always enjoy Roland and I fishing together, and so that's going to be a lot of fun. We're trying to get Johnny to come down here too. He's committed to come unless he's got something else really, really important come up. And how in the world could he get anything more important than fishing? But hopefully we got Johnny down here fishing with the three of us, and he'll probably beat all of us. He'll probably beat both of us put together, as a matter of fact. But anyway, let me talk just a second or two. We're gonna make this chat, kind of short because it's cold. It's cold outside. The wind's blowing, the raining, and it's cold in this building, as a matter of fact. But worry is something that happens to a lot of people, and I spend a lot of sleepless nights myself. So I'm pretty much an expert on worrying about things. And most of the time, what I was worried about was what was happening in business and would we have enough sponsors to keep the show going? And some of the sponsors maybe would get behind in paying their television advertising, and we'd be worrying about that and all kinds of things. I mean, just things, one right after another. All the years in tournament fishing, being concerned about making classics or Chris winning Angler of the Year title. She made the classic every single year. I never worried about that. She's just so good that she didn't have to worry about making a classic. She always caught them, seems like, and I'm not quite that good, so I had to worry about making the classic so many times. And we get down to the last tournament of the year, and I'd be fighting to worry about it. But let me tell you, there is really no reason for us to worry. One of the things that you gain as you get older in life, and then those of you that's got a few years on you, you know this is absolutely true, is wisdom. That wisdom comes from God. Understanding, that understanding comes from God. And that wisdom and that understanding will take away that worry. When you realize, and you've seen God act so many times in your life, and you've seen him bail you out of situations. You've had situations that you thought were just life-altering situations, particularly it's financial deals and business deals and things like that. You thought they were just life-altering situations, and God got you through them. Not only that, you come out on the other end, and you're better off than you were before. I've seen that happen over and over and over. I mentioned that Ram truck. We've been running Ram trucks for years and years and years now, a lot of years now. And we were with another truck company, Chevy Trucks, for 32 years, and they're a good company. But they decided to get out of the hunting and fishing business, and get involved more with international soccer. And so they got out of their outdoor programs and they got out of sponsoring fishermen and outdoor shows and things like that. And we thought that was the end of the world. We thought that was really a good deal. But immediately, we were contacted by Expressway up there. We were already doing some work. Like I said, they have Chevrolet and Ford up there at Expressway, and we was doing some work for them when their Chevrolet deal. And Bob Buckley, who run the Ram dealership and who started all of that conglomerate of dealerships up there, and they're one of the largest auto dealers in the entire United States. But talking to them about the Chevrolet situation, they were upset about them getting out of outdoor advertising because those guys are outdoorsmen up there in Indiana. Indiana's a hunting and fishing state for sure, and the Buckleys love to fish. But anyway, so I was concerned and worried about that, and plus we lost a really good sponsorship in the process with losing Chevrolet, who was a great tournament sponsor. But Bob Buckley got me hooked up with Ram, and I got hooked up where we could work with them on their dealership. And not only we've been driving Ram trucks for years, we still help them with their Chevrolet and their Ford dealerships also locally. We do the Ram trucks nationally, but we help them locally there. So that worked out really good. The tournament sponsorship, we got was asked to do an interview for a two-man team that Shell Oil Company was going to put for Quaker State Oil, one of their great brands, Quaker State. And they actually put 3 people on the team, Scott Canterbury, Matt Airy, and myself. And so all of that was taken care of. But all of the worries about us getting fired and not being able to continue tournament fishing, God just took care of all that. And not only that, we came out better on the other end. We were much better off than we were when we were fishing on that Chevy truck team. So, and I could talk all afternoon and give you story after story after story where I've seen God come through. And while that has been happening, my sleep got better at nights. My worry became less. And as y'all know I'm a big Bible reader. I read the Bible a lot. But, I've read the Bible through so many times in my lifetime, every year, completely through since I was about 24, 25, 26 years old. And the Bible continually tell you, do not fear, don't worry. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. How many of you can add a second to your life by worrying? Well, we can't. Worry doesn't give us a long life. But trusting God gives us a long life. God's wisdom, God's knowledge gives us a long life. Honoring our mother and father gives us a long life. A lot of things give us a long life. But worry's definitely not one of them. Definitely not one of them. And here's the deal. Here's the deal on this. And you're saying, oh, that's good, Jimmy, but I got to worry about this. I got to worry about this. I don't know if I'm going to make my house payment next month. Let me tell you, the way that you do not worry is that you just trust God. And whatever situation you have, whatever problem you have, you just lay it on his doorstep. I call it laying at the foot of the cross, because the cross is what proved to us that Jesus Christ has victory over death. When that man was killed on that cross, buried in that tomb, and yet 3 days later walked out of that tomb, was seen by hundreds of people, arose to heaven to be with God just like you and I will do, that proved that we have victory over death. But that proved then that we could lay our problems at the foot of that cross. We could lay whatever circumstances we had at Jesus Christ's feet and let him handle the problems. Now, you got to trust God in order to do that. You've got to know that God is big enough to handle those problems. He's big enough to work behind the scenes. He's big enough to have the right people come around at the right time. And he's working on your behalf all the time that you don't even know about. But here's the key. Here's the key to the whole thing. A strong personal relationship with Jesus Christ, a relationship with the God that created you. And in order to have that relationship, you need to spend some time in the book. You need to spend some time reading. You need to spend some time in the scriptures. But you need to spend some time talking to God. The relationships are about talking to people. And Jesus said, I call you a friend. I call you a friend. I'm not lording it over you. I'm call you a friend. So we need to talk to God as we would talk to a friend. And we need to lay out and tell him about what type of situations are causing us to worry. If you're laying in bed at night, first thing that you ought to do when you hit the bed at night is you ought to start talking to God. You ought to start praying to God and talk to him about whatever's going on in your life. He knows what's going on in your life, but you talk to him. You're just affirming that relationship with him, and talk to him about what's going on in your life, and give him the problems that you may have. Give him the situations that you're concerned about coming out one way or another, and you just need for him to come out a certain way. And you don't need to beg him. You don't need to say, God, please, please, please solve this problem for him. You just talk to him about him, tell you what we got, and tell him, I'm going to lay this problem. You've promised to me in your word that you would take care of my situations like this. So I'm going to lay this problem at your feet. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. I'm fixing to go to sleep right here, and I'm going to count that you're working on this while I'm sleeping, because he will be. So you get that close personal relationship with God. You can talk to God all throughout the day. You know, the thing about it is God knows our mind. He knows our hearts. He knows our thoughts. We can pray silently. You don't even have to pray out loud to God for him to know exactly what you're saying, But he knows that you're talking to him. And you develop that relationship, and all of a sudden you look at that circumstance and say, I don't know how that worked out, but it did. Well, I can tell you how it worked out. It worked out because Almighty God got involved in your circumstance, because you involved him. You brought him in here. You laid that problem at his feet and said, God, help me. I need help. I need this. I need this. I need this. Help me. Help me solve the problem. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to trust you to take care of this situation for me. Now, will the result always be exactly what you're asking for? Of course not. But the result will be working out for your good, because that's what God says. All things will work out for your good to those who love Christ and are called according to his purpose. All things will work out together for your good. So whatever bad that you may be happening to go through, God's going to work that out for your good. It may not be keeping that job. It may not be staying in that relationship. It may not be getting that raise. It may not be getting well tomorrow. It may not be walking if you can't walk. But God will work it out for your good, and he'll do some amazing things in your life. So if you got a problem that's causing you to buy some of that medicine off television and take a pill to cause you to go to sleep, talk to God. Talk to God. Lay that problem at his feet, at the foot of the cross. Say, I'm not going to worry about it anymore. I'm going to trust you to work this situation out for me. And after you've lived a few years, you'll look back and see time after time after time where God came through for you. So like the Bible said, don't worry. Don't worry. The Bible says also many, many times, do not fear. If we don't fear, we're not going to worry. One of the things that causes us to worry is fear. Fear of not being able to make the house payment or whatever. Fear of being able to keep the television show on in 2025. I don't know. But we lay that situation at the foot of the cross, and somehow God will work it out, because he has the power to do all things, and he will make all things work together for our good. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one this week. It's going to be a good week. It'll rain here. The lake, this lake here at the house is getting up just really, it's just running through. It's full. The other lake is rising a little bit, but we still need more rain to get that one up. But it's going to be another great week here at the Eagle, where Chris and I are going to be here all week. We're still working on that shower of hers. I hadn't showed you that yet. We're working on a new shower for her. That we've tore out an old tub in the house and in a bedroom and putting in a shower, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Might show you that this week also. Guys and girls, have you a great one out there, and remember, I sure do love you.